breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
What's up, guys? And
How's it
welcome
going?
to another wonderful Saturday that's absolutely covered with rain and all kinds of nasty stuff here in Iowa. But here we are. What do you guys think? It's Bear Week. We just got done with a game that a lot of people thought Kirk Cousins was going to come back and have his revenge game, and Sam Darnold and our offense went off. I mean, that was something cool to see. What do you guys just give me your initial thoughts on all that?
Yeah, that was a pretty intense game. The first half, obviously not what you wanted to see. It was kind of tit for tat, and it looked like, okay, great. This running game on Atlanta's going to just roast us all game, and it's going to be another one of those games where he had high hopes, and Atlanta's just going to stay too close. And then the third and fourth quarter happened, and yeah, JJ'd at us and just lit it up. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be that close in the beginning. Our defense just didn't seem to wake up till about halfway through the third quarter. I don't know what that was about, but hey, they've played well enough. They got the job done, and like I said, the offense just took off.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Before we get too far into anything, so last week we shared the news, Randy Moss's video, and we were kind of speculating, he was having some issues. It turns out that Moss is actually a cancer survivor, and he did leave a little bit of a clarity video. The video doesn't show up too great on here, but we're going to go ahead and play it anyways for the people to see what Moss had to say.
So I did have cancer. They found it in the bile duct, right between the pancreas and the liver. I had a 6-hour surgery. Been in the hospital for 6 days. So that's what I'm sitting here representing, man. Being able to understand that I am a cancer survivor. We made it through. And for that, I thank you all. Like I said, man, I'm good. I'm here with my family. That's Moss Cancer.
So that's actually pretty cool. Moss now joins the ranks of cancer survivors and everything, and of all the other stuff that he does for the football community, being an NFL Hall of Famer and everything. Now he's firmly advocating for cancer research and everything. So just an awesome thing to see that that they were able to take care of that for him, and that they caught it in time. So, but let's move into some segments with the Atlanta game. Let's recap this thing here real quick, and then we'll see about trying to get some Bears fans on here. So things went rather well. The thing I didn't like seeing was how well Tyler Algier and Bijan Robinson were able to run on us. I think we might have underestimated that particular running back stable on that team because they got a lot more grounds against us or yards on the ground against us than what I would like. And I know that's something we talked about, Matthew, you and I last week. What do you think happened on that whole deal?
Yeah, I think it's just a combination of Harrison Phillips being banged up over the last couple of weeks. And I mean, all season and all offseason, we've talked about how we just lack a stud interior defensive tackle, nose tackle, beefy type. And then obviously Pace being out too, much like when Cashman was out, we underestimate how good our middle linebackers are. And when they're out, the run game does seem to impact us quite a bit. So I think having him out, having Phillips being banged up, and then obviously Bijan just being Bijan, like the hype, he has massive hype for a reason. It's because he's arguably a top 5 running back in the NFL. So you don't love to see it, but I'm at the same time, I'm not surprised we saw it. Hopefully the trend stops when we get Pace back, but we'll see.
Right. So Foss is already having a good morning. He says taking the Bears to Pound Town. Yeah, we hope so. You know, whiteout game. This is the one. Obviously,
Yeah.
the weather, I will not be heading up there. And Don says Packers for the win. Yeah, you know what? That would have been nice if the Packers did win against the Lions. You know, you had one job to do, Green Bay. One job. All you had to do was beat the Lions. You could have helped us, but you didn't. So, but.
Yeah. Can we stop crying about that Goff knee on the handoff to Montgomery as well?
Yeah, probably.
The Packers did not get cheated.
No, there's quite a. I tell you what though, how many other teams you see out there putting hits on people's knees like the Lions are right now though?
Oh,
because it's pretty blatant on some of that stuff.
yeah. Did you see the J.J. Watt's comments on this whole situation?
Not yet. Fill me in.
So he's basically saying, like, what do you want a defender to do? They can't go low, they can't go high. You got to hit them in the thick of the thigh, and sometimes it's a matter of inches. But he's saying, like, what's a defender supposed to do? So he's sticking up for the Kirby Joseph, saying, like, it looks like they're intentionally trying to go for the thick of the thigh, and sometimes it just ends up being a little low, whether the player they're going after ends up going high or what have you. But he's sticking with the defense on this issue.
Right. Let's go with our heroes and zeros from the Atlanta game. Yeah, someone else go first. I'm still thinking about this. Eric, what'd you think? I mean, Darnold's so obvious, Addison's so obvious, I mean, the whole offense went off. I mean, everybody was obvious with it, but
I think the tight end group, honestly, quietly blocked pretty well, had some big catches when we needed. So I think low-key hero is that group of tight ends with, Oliver and Hawkinson. They stepped in when we needed to get big plays. Zero, that's a hard one. I mean, we did play so well. I just have to go with the overall defense as run stoppers. I know we played, like Matthew was saying, those two, that's probably one of the best duos of running backs in the league. I mean, Algier just pounds the hell out of you, and Bijan can cut and move, and he's fast. So, but we were the number one run defense in the NFL, so we got to have some kind of blame there. So, but I think that was my low key hero.
Right on. Hey, Darren, thanks for joining us. We're getting into heroes and zeros from the Atlanta game. Go ahead and recap the game if you want, real quick, what you thought after watching it, and then give me your hero and zero.
So I thought it was finally amazing to see O'Connell finally go out there and fucking put the foot to somebody's throat and basically play the we're not going to fuck around ball. Like, I was expecting that before in the games previously, but obviously the results were different and it was fucking one-score games, which I fucking hate. They're fucking nail biters. So when we just absolutely just shit and pissed on Kirk Cousins' parade, I was happy about it. And the fact that
Dorn.
That so-called fucking secondary that they had was absolutely fucking bombarded by Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. Big day for those two. And I absolutely loved watching Sam Darnold just throw the ball. I feel like my hero for that game is going to be Jordan Addison. He's really coming to his own, and we're finally seeing him mold well with Jefferson. And in my opinion, one of the top 2 best duels in the league for wide receivers. And my zero is gonna have to be. I'm just gonna throw out Ed Ingram because everybody, in my opinion, didn't really have a bad game. But if you're on the fucking bench, there's a reason why you're on the bench,
right? Matthew.
Yeah, my zero is going to be the offensive line. The Falcons coming into the game and only gotten 15 sacks on the season. They were one of the, I think they were like the 29th ranked pass rushing teams in the NFL, and we gave up 4 sacks in the first half. That's just unacceptable. So, like, we talked about how the first half was a little bit of a struggle. Well, that's why. Like, I know our offensive line's not great, but according to PFF, we're ranked in the top 10. You can't give up 4 sacks to a team that's ranked near last in getting after the quarterback. So I don't know what the hell happened there. Obviously, our interior has been an issue all season. But even Brian O'Neill just let somebody come around the side, just basically unchecked. It was a super uncharacteristic game. My hero's obviously going to be Sammy Darr. It's a 5-touchdown game for the first time since Culpepper. Just absolutely slinging it. That big play to Justin Jefferson, which my joke hero is going to be the Falcons defense, because I don't know how a corner is going to be 5 to 10 yards off of Jefferson and then just fall flat on his face. Hilarious. But, I mean, Sam Darnold got out of the pocket. He extended that play on his feet for JJ to get open like that, where he could have very easily taken the sack. And he just let it rip. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Obviously putting up MVP numbers. Let's go.
Hell yeah. So I'm going to go a complete different direction because the heroes were obviously all of our playmakers on offense, and Darnold had the best game of his career. We finally put 40 plus on somebody. Felt good. I'm going to go way off into left field here, but my zero is going to be Jonathan Bullard on the D line. And my hero is going to be the guy that's been replacing him that should continue to do it, Jalen Redmond. That man had another fantastic game several times, up there, tackles for loss. Yes, they did run against us, but when Redmond got warmed up in the second half and everything else, he was out there and he was making them stops. He's starting to get more snaps every week. I say start the dude. I don't know what the rest of you guys think, but I've seen enough of Bullard and I haven't seen enough of Jalen Redmond. That's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, his stats over the last 2 weeks, he's got like 8 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 2 QB hits. Yeah, he's putting up numbers, and it's just another undrafted. I mean, we didn't get him an undrafted. I think he went to Carolina, but just the Vikings saw something in him, and he's making plays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
do you guys?
it's incredible. I mean, he just, he went to the UFL and played 2 games and had like 4 or 5 sacks. So for them to take a chance and for him to pan out is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just like they've been talking all week long, and this is going to be the next topic. And I know nobody really wants to talk about this, but we have to. I mean, it has been on Colin Cowherd, it's been on Dan Patrick, it's been on Pat McAfee. Everybody's talking about Darnold's. What are we doing next year? Are we bringing him back? Okay, this is not going to be everybody's favorite segment, and Darnold, I don't think he cares. I think he's just along for the ride, and he's just enjoying playing winning football on a winning team right now.
Buddy,
But
I'm on my pocket.
But what do you do if we beat the Bears, we'll get into the playoffs. We had a chance if the 49ers would have won basically Thursday night that we could have clinched a playoff spot. but we didn't. But if we beat the Bears, we'll get a playoff spot. So then let's just say that we actually, we go to Atlanta or Tampa Bay because they're looking like they're the worst. Going to end up being the worst division winner. So the best wild card team, unless I'm dyslexic on this, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the best wild card team plays the worst division winner, and the worst wild card team plays the second best division winner because the
That's
best
usually how it
is
goes.
the bye, right?
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah. So if we were to go on the road and if things kind of stay the way that they are and we're something ridiculous like a 12 to a 14 win wild card team, we would go to whoever wins the South right now because the Eagles also have 11 wins. We don't know what's going on in the West. Somebody's got to win it. Who I don't know if it's going to be the 49ers ain't going to be it. They're damn near eliminated. It could be the Seahawks. I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Which is for us because we go to Seattle, next week. So, I mean, our last 3 games are incredible. So it's going to be major, like, time to make a push to get primed for the playoffs with going to Seattle, then Green Bay and then Detroit all at the end of the season. I mean, it's all 3 playoff teams, potentially. So it's crazy.
But let's say Sam Darnold gets us to the divisional round, or even if it comes down to an NFC championship between us and the Lions or us and the Eagles somehow. I'm not sure. There's different roadmaps for getting to that. At what point in time has he earned a spot to come back next year and actually get paid more than $10 million? Or do you just stand firm that the whole deal was he was to be here for 1 year as a bridge quarterback, and we are going with JJ next year? At what point in time do you say, yes, Darnold has actually played himself into earning another year, and it's a good problem to have? Here's the deal. The Vikings have the money. If they want to pay like a franchise tag, I think it'd be north of 40. But if they offered him like 1 year, 38 or something like that, they wouldn't even have to use the tag on him. They have the money to do it. I personally, and I get a lot of flack for this because everybody's like, nope, the whole plan has been JJ next year. That's what we're doing. Okay, fine. But I would personally feel a lot more comfortable because I think Darnold even knows that he's not going to go to any other team right now and have the kind of success that he's having on the Vikings. Just like Cousins, fell off hard in Atlanta, and Case Keenum never played another season worth of shit after he left Minnesota. And the offense that we have right now is drastically better than what Case Keenum had in 2017. I think Darnold knows he's in a good situation. I think he'd take a little bit less than a franchise tag. I would feel better having him around. And it's not to say if your plan isn't JJ McCarthy for 2025, you can't let him compete and try to take that job from Darnold. But the way Darnold's playing right now, like Matthew said earlier, he's on the outside edge of a very, very small group of quarterbacks for MVP discussion because that's kind of numbers he's putting up. And he's got the wins to go right alongside of it. He's got more wins than Lamar. Josh Allen's a better quarterback, but he's got wins than Josh Allen.
I think that conversation has to start already. Like, I think that conversation has to start already with Sam, because the biggest thing for me was JJ was supposed to be his backup, learning and practicing and doing all. That's where he was supposed to be learning, and he hasn't. He's in the classroom or in the team group rooms on the sideline. Granted, he's still learning a lot, but not what he would have been learning taking those second team reps. Jumping in on the first team reps every now and then. That was what our hope was for JJ. So that needs to start with Darnold already being, hey, JJ will compete, you'll compete. Will you take 30 to 35 mil to come back for one more season?
Yeah. And to be perfectly honest, if it's just 1 year, so Foss commented 2 years, 65 mil, that'd be a great deal. That's why I don't think they're going to get one done because that's too good of a deal. Purple Jesus Lefty says, putting all your eggs in the JJ McCarthy basket when they're this good and Darnold is this good is insane. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
And here's
Same.
my reason. Here's my reason. JJ, Jordan Addison, Hawkinson, that core right there, when McCarthy gets good in 2 to 3 years, like we're competing, because I mean, he's going to look like a rookie. Those three, Jefferson and Hawkinson have been in the league for a while now. Was that me echoing?
Yeah.
Was that me echoing? Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Who's got their speaker on?
Hello.
Now, any rate, no. Here's the thing: those guys, Hawkinson and Jefferson, are in their prime. And if you think that, okay, I can't even. This is driving me nuts.
Yes.
Where's the echo coming from?
I don't have my headphones.
Is it me?
Might be.
Okay. Let me leave and come back.
Okay. But my point is, what I'm saying is,
Okay.
Hawkinson and Jefferson are in their prime right now, and by the time McCarthy, let's say he's starting to compete and getting to the playoffs by 2026, 2027 at the latest, those guys are going to be at the end of their window. If we think that we're going to possibly have a shot at going to a Super Bowl or, God willing, win one someday, that trio is what's going to get us there with Addison, Jefferson, and Hawkinson. We need to be striking right now this year, just like what we're doing. And the fact that Sam Darnold panned out is a godsend, because there's a lot of us in the beginning of the year that thought, well, great. Here's a year where we'll probably get numbers, but we're wasting another year of the prime life of Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, and it's not. We're winning, we're winning. We got a very good shot, a very good chance to make a playoff run and go into the playoffs and go to the NFC Championship game. We just have to beat the teams we're supposed to beat, and then hope like hell we can get some luck against the Lions. What do you think about that perspective looking at it, Matthew?
Well, so this is identical to the conversation we had after we were moving on from Kirk Cousins last year, and the Vikings got Sam Darnold. It's like, well, what the hell are the Vikings doing? Why are we moving on from a dude who, before he got hurt, was leading the NFL in touchdowns and was second in yards? We're taking a backup quarterback, a career backup at Sam Darnold. Like, great. Like Paul Charchian said, there goes the season. Vikings fans, I hope you get what you asked for. Like, you can't move on from a proven quarterback into a bum. And now Sam Darnold's putting up MVP numbers. So everyone's like, well, why are we moving on from Sam Darnold and going to J.J. McCarthy? We don't know what we have in him. Well, we said the same shit about Sam Darnold, and look, here he is. KOC is a really good coach. We have all the talent. And I don't know if people remember this, but after McCarthy went down, there was a report that came out that said the front staff was talking about him being the week one starter. They were that impressed with him. Like, there was a chance Darnold wasn't going to start the season if McCarthy hadn't torn his meniscus. Right. So you take him at the 10th overall pick. The dude won a national championship. He's used to big games. You look at what Michigan is now. Granted, you could say it's the same thing with the coaching because the coaching left. But they weren't even a ranked team this year after winning a national championship. So I think you roll with J.J. McCarthy. And we picked up Daniel Jones, too. I mean, yeah, he's obviously not been good. But, again, neither was Sam Darnold. So if McCarthy's not ready, you do what you can with Daniel Jones, who's going to be making like $5 to $10 million as our backup next year because he knows that he's not going to get a starting spot. I don't want to pay Sam Darnold $35-40 million a year, even if it's a franchise tag for 1 year, which that's going to piss him off because this is his one chance to get a good long contract at the end of his career because he's not going to get another one because he's not going to be as good next year. And I think even if we keep him, it's the lightning in a bottle. Is he going to have 28 touchdowns, 10 picks through 13 weeks next year? Probably not. That's a really hard thing to do no matter who the quarterback is. We sit here every week and talk about our interior D line's not great, our cornerback room's not great. We need to upgrade at running back because Aaron Jones is 30. Where's that money going to come from? The $76 million in cap next year. I'm not giving 35 to 40 of that to Sam Darnold. I want to build an even better team to put around J.J. McCarthy and roll with the guy that we took with the 10th overall pick.
Yep. So in the comments, Ken showed up finally. Says, "What's up, losers? Darnold MVP," laughing. Well, Ken, you're in luck because in 5 minutes we start the preview segment for our matchup Monday night versus the Bears. So you showed up just in time to hop on the show, buddy. We'll see you in 5 minutes. And then, of course,
hey, Ken. Sorry.
Darcy showed up in the comments. So Darcy's a giant Homer Lions fan. Darcy hates a very few things in the world. The Vikings are one of them. So when Darcy's like, "You're not going to beat the Lions, the Packers, or the Seahawks," he's usually wrong. Like every time he went to the Bills game 2 years ago when Justin Jefferson had the catch of the century and the Vikings won in overtime. As a Lions fan, Darcy went to this game to root against the Vikings and for the Bills. So Darcy's kind of like the bad luck charm. So when you see Darcy commenting, you can take that you can take that with a grain of salt. But
pretty sure we're going to beat the Packers. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll beat the Packers and the Seahawks. The Lions have proven to be very difficult, and we have to go to their house. And to be honest, losing by a field goal in our own house, we squandered that one. That we should have won that. We hurt ourselves on that deal. But Ken says, "What preview? You think it will be a game?" Yeah, I do, Ken, and I think you should come on and talk about it because everybody's saying the Vikings are just going to mollywop the shit out of the Bears.
Yeah,
obviously haven't watched Vikings versus.
Even Packer fans are predicting a astronomical number like 140-3. So
It'll be a 3-point win like it always is when we play the freaking Bears, just because it's the Bears.
Well, did Ken forget they got 11 points in 22 seconds? Good luck doing that again.
Right. Yeah, and you're not coming into our house just kicking fucking field goals to win the game. Not happening.
Yeah.
Not this unit this year.
Yep. Oh, here's Matt Henry. He's one of our Bear fan friends that watches every week. What's up, Matt? How you doing? He says, "Good afternoon, Bear Down." Yep. We have I feel like it'll be a good game. I tell you what, I brought Hannah up to her first game last year when the Bears played. And that was the beginning of the end of the Pastronaut experiment. And the Bears did win. I've never, that was the first time in my life I've been to probably 15 to 16 Vikings versus Bears game. Never seen the Vikings lose against the Bears up until last year. So it just goes to show that anything can happen. Granted, this year is definitely not last year, but we do know the Bears are going to play us tough, and anything can happen in a divisional matchup. So,
not happening, Dorn. Not happening, Dorn. Ain't going to be no 9-9.
I remember at the beginning of the season, Dan Orlovsky was saying that if Sam Darnold plays an entire season, he's going to put up more yards than Caleb Williams, and he was just berated for that opinion. Look, here we are.
Right. Yep. Well, so okay, Dorn now says could come to a tie 9-9. Well, earlier, Dorn, you said 142-3 Vikings. I mean, which one is it, Dorn? Come on, man.
A tale of two halves. Halftime tied 9-9, and then we put on 100 points in the second half.
You know how back in the 90s and early and mid 2000s, the Vikings were always definitely a second half team all the time.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting to be that way again.
First halves, and then all of a sudden, just that halftime talk in the locker room just motivated everybody.
Right.
Well, we started the season though the first drive. You know, we were like, I think after our first 5-game win streak, we had like outscored our opponents in the first quarter by like 40 points. So if we can get that team back plus this team, reason we can't be putting up 40, a game.
Right.
Well, also a part of that is I think throughout the first several games, everybody thought the Vikings were just going to be a joke and that You know, like, yeah, wait till they play us, and then holy shit, we're down, 24 points at halftime or whatever. And then, people started watching tape, people started figuring it out. And then we started the thing I like, and the reason why I went there with that statement about the second half team is because Zimmer, his last 4 years as the head coach, could not make a halftime adjustment if his life depended on it.
Yep.
Every freaking week, it was a guarantee. Susie Colbert on the sidelines, what do you need to do differently? Oh, we don't. We just need to execute. No, dipshit. You've been figured out. Like, everybody knows what you're doing. Everybody's out coaching you. The player, do something. Well, KLC has been doing a real good job when shit just doesn't work. He's not afraid to switch stuff up in the second half and go to what does. Whether it be just in the fourth quarter against the Colts, just legitimately forcing the ball to Justin Jefferson, but making shit happen that way, or that magnificent showing that he just did all last Sunday against the Falcons. I mean, the dude has been coaching some good ball. And that's why it surprises me that people are like, yep, KOC got out coached again and whatever. Everybody's going to have bad game. I mean, sometimes you just fall flat, like that Rams game. Everybody's saying he got out coached. They were on a 4-day, a very short week, coming off a very, very, very tough game that we should have beaten the Lions. We did.
Also, he was going up against McVay too.
Yeah.
Well, and the Rams got Puka and Cooper Kupp back that game, and since then they've beaten the Bills. They just beat the 49ers. They lead their division. They're 7-6. Like, the Rams are not a bad team when they're fully healthy. We just happened to catch them on a short when they got back to being fully healthy.
Yep, and now they're starting to win games too, which, I mean, they're not outside of the talk of being able to become a playoff team themselves. But we've hit our halftime thing here real quick. We got to run one quick commercial for you guys, and then we'll be back to discuss the Chicago Bears matchup on Monday night. Stay tuned. We'll be back in about a minute and a half.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning into real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
All right, we're back, and we got a couple friends with us. Let's welcome Kim and Mike, the Bear fan, to our show this afternoon. What's good, fellas?
Hey, first things first, Rob. Go Army. Beat Navy tonight.
Go Army, beat Navy. Hell yes. Cool. I think everybody in here's on that on the Army train this weekend. So,
yes.
But the cool thing about that game, like we say every year, Ken, is that's the one game where both teams have volunteered to basically give everything of themselves up into what Abraham Lincoln referred to as the full measure of devotion for their country. So it's a special game. You don't. I mean, not taking anything away from it, but
someone just chat GPT'd an entire list.
Darcy just typed a whole novel.
Someone just asked Meta AI to.
I'm just going to say TLDR.
Exactly.
Darcy, that is too much. That is way too much.
Darcy picked his Lions to lose the division just like a week or two ago. So that's to tell you how smart Darcy is when it comes to the football. He actually
Darcy's
picked the Lions to lose the division to the Vikings. Like, this is at a point where the Lions need a game to win one game to clinch it, pretty much. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna lose out." I'm like, "You're dumbass."
Yeah, I mean, they've already clinched a playoff spot. I mean, if the Vikings keep winning and the Lions keep winning, which, I can see that happening. We need the Lions to lose a game they're not supposed to before they play us for that last game of the year to be for the division. Otherwise, they'll win even if we end up with a tie, even if we do beat them. I believe the way things shake down with all the scenarios is the Lions still win the division this year. Which, I mean, they were supposed to anyways.
Right.
Yeah, let me look at that real quick. I mean,
go ahead and look that up.
Yeah, I'll do the general one because first it goes head to head. So if you're tied on head to head, then it goes to conference, your conference records. And so right now, as of today, they're 8-1 in the conference, and you are 6-2. So they beat you on that tie break if that were to hold. After that, it goes to some other wonky stuff, but it's not straightforward. But
yeah, we need an NFC team to actually, beat the Lions, and thanks a lot, Packers.
Yeah, honestly.
Really, I mean, you have one job. But no, I mean, it's going to be crazy because I'm just going to say right now what I think is going to happen. We lost our opportunity by 3 points to beat the Lions in our own house, and it's very hard to beat them in theirs. That's going to be one of those crazy years where the Vikings will be that 12 or 13 win wild card team.
And what can you do? What can you do? I mean, a 12, 13 win season is going to get you a division. The Lions have to have a franchise record season to overtake Sam Darnold at a 13-4 clip for the division.
Right.
Yeah, Brian's got it there. That's the other thing too. So if it's conference record, let's say it's tied, then it goes to head-to-head opponents after the straight record. So the tie breaks are fairly simple initially, right? It's wins division record, conference record. If those are tied, then it goes to head-to-head opponents. And Brian's got it right there. They beat the Rams. You lost the Rams. I think right there, that's where you become the wild card team and they win the division. If that's how that plays out.
Right. I like Purple Jesus. He says we could be a 15-win wild card team. I like that energy. Keep that up. But in order to do that, first and foremost, once again, we will have to get a W against the Chicago Bears on Monday night. The Chicago Bears are coming to town. No matter what goes on, and I've seen seasons like this before where the Bears are having a down year and the Vikings seem to be on a roll. The Bears are that team that's they're going to play us tough till the last whistle blows, just like they did when we escaped out of there in Soldier Field a couple weeks ago. Since then, the Bears have had some changes. You don't have Eberflus as the head coach anymore. You got some guys nicked up. Some guys are performing better. What can we expect to see, Ken and Mike? What's going to be different this time than a couple weeks ago? And what do you expect the Bears to try to do this time against the Vikings?
Go ahead, Mike.
Is he here?
He's here. He's kind of like ramen. So, what? Yeah, I mean, look,
go ahead, Ken.
This is a hard game, period, right? We know talent level, the Bears have the players, right? We know they've got players. They've got guys that can perform. They got guys that can make this game a 1-point game, a W. I mean, he's got a mic issue, so okay. But he should be back now.
Yep.
They've got the personnel from that. I'll let Mike continue.
Well, no, like you said, the personnel's there, the talent's there. We played division great. Subtract last week. We've been playing good ball. We just been losing. You know what I mean? But the bad thing is we're the only team in the NFL that hasn't, sad to say. And we started a record 4-2 and lost since. So our record's not that good. Thought it'd be better. I think we're going to play pretty good ball, but we got a pretty decent sized injury list right now. Like we got Ryan Bates, Dexter, Roshan, Swift, Blackwell, Hicks. I mean, our injury list is pretty substantial right now. So I think we're going to play good, though. I think it's going to be a one-score game. It could go either way, honestly. We're definitely overdue for a win, for sure. We play division great. I mean, what points only separate us three points in each game for the most part. So
7
I mean,
points
the game's wide open. What's that, Ken?
7 points total against
Yeah.
all three, amongst all three. I mean, that's pretty slim.
Yeah, 3-3-1.
Yeah.
So you want to know what I hope you don't do?
Win.
Well, but yeah. So the Colts did this thing against us as to where they just dinked and dunked it all the way down the field. And see, this is the thing with the way the Vikings defense under Flores is set up. He'll give you that short stuff every time. You know, we got hurt with Gilmore being out, and I hope he can play because he does make a difference. And we found that out, you know, on a couple plays and everything. But whereas I don't necessarily think you're going to hit a super long bomb down to like Odunze or Keenan Allen or DJ Moore, whatever. I mean, that was an amazing play you guys had in that first game. I'm more worried that you're going to do very, very quick release, dink and dunk stuff, and that Flores will give you that. You guys will stay in the game the entire time and everything, even if it is field goals and, you know, whatever. If the Vikings don't get out to a very quick multi-score lead or whatever, this could be a really long day. And I think you guys are one of the prime teams out there that could take that, what we saw the Colts do against us, and execute that rather well with the guys that you have on your team and the skill sets that they have. That plays right into, you know, quick guys like Swift, the skill set that an aging Kellen has, and you know, a quick guy like Odunze, a rookie and everything, having that really quick hit type of stuff, just long sustained drives, you know, pick up 3 yards here, pick up 5 yards there, just keep the vision in front of us and whatever, just keep matriculating that ball down the field like that old Kansas City coach used to say and everything. And the thing that I'm worried about is the Vikings are more than happy to let you do that because they think that they'll be able to come up and make chunk yard plays, you know, to counter that and whatever else. I don't want our defense on the field longer when the freaking offense is, because you guys are just chewing us up on the ground. And then with the screen game and play action options, all that kind of shit.
That's
right now it looks like you're going to get a steady dose of Travis Homer. So I don't think that's going to happen, Rob. I mean, right now Swift is out, Johnson's out. That's running back 1, running back 2, or 1A, 1B.
But are they out?
Well, they're not right now. As of Friday, did not practice. They did not practice.
Yeah, it's not updated yet.
Okay, that's fair.
So I mean, Swift, but I think Swift could play. Roshan, it's just a matter, does he pass the concussion protocol? Otherwise, it's going to be a steady diet of Travis Homer, and they're going to have to pass a lot, which means you're probably going to see more Cole Kmet than we've seen all season, which might be actually a good thing for Chicago. I mean, my thing is, it's after last week where we just got, and Caleb said it, we got an ass whooping, right? They came out. I mean, you can call it the rookie head coach syndrome, whatever. He went from being the interim OC, which he was doing a fairly good job at up in the sky. Now he's down at field level, which changes everything. So he had to make an adjustment. The defense was making an adjustment to a new play caller. It's still Fluce's defense, just a different play caller. So you would figure that would have been better, but it wasn't. Then you've got some injuries. Look, this game can go one of two ways. It can go like Mike said, it's going to be a close game, or the wheels are going to continue to fall off the truck, and it's going to be out of control by the end of the first half. I mean, And even the games we played you well in the first half, we did next to nothing. It was all in the second half. So
right. I'd love to pass quick for sure. But realistically, we don't. I mean, we got 56 sacks on Caleb Williams, which is a Bears record. And we still got games to go. So he's not very. I'm not saying he can't do it. He's done it a couple games, but he holds on to the ball a little long. And not to mention, we cannot stop the run for nothing on defense. And with Dexter out, that's killer.
That's killer.
And that's
so
where
you might see a lot more of Caleb running himself in this game than maybe we're accustomed to. They did just recently, actually, when we started playing division games, started to run Caleb like run. I don't know, John. I don't agree with you that the players in Chicago don't want to play. Of course, they want to put good tape out because they want jobs, they want contracts, they want, there's no player in the NFL who does well unless you're a certain linebacker from the San Francisco 49ers.
That's a bunch of Devondre Campbells.
Yeah, unless you're Devondre Campbell, these guys want to play, and they all have something to prove because they want to, justify their contracts or get contracts. So, and they want good tape. So I always hate that argument. But I mean, this game is kind of, in a weird way, a quandary because we don't know how the untested or brand new Bears coaching staff, so to speak, is going to react in terms of what adjustments they made in practice this week. And how are we going to do with, so we've done well with injuries. So I get Mike's argument, but overall this season, when we've gone to the next man up kind of thing, we've done pretty well overall with the backups. The backups have actually performed well in Chicago, everywhere but the offensive line. So
Thomas has a good point here, I think, because like you said about your run, Cam has to run the ball more, good ground will help us stay up with Detroit. Now, I agree on that because of the fact that Cam Akers is a bigger back than what Aaron Jones is. If we can actually get 3 to 4 yards of running up the middle with Cam Akers and whatever, and then use Jones on his skill sets in the screen game and perimeter runs and everything else, that will help wear down your defense, your interior defensive line, which is better than ours right now, Ken. And if Cam Akers can get it and they can convert the first downs, as much as you'd like to see Sam Darnold and the weapons put on a freaking aerial display again, like what they did last week, don't run that fucking thing up the gut. And that's where I feel like Cam Akers should have a game this week, but we'll see what happens.
Well, I mean, you need to, because look at even the last game. I love some Vikings fans. Oh, JJ, and everyone's going to tear it up. JJ was persona non grata for the most of the game last time. Why? Because JJ's coverage. So the coverage is still there. The coverage guys are still there. You're going to make your hay on the ground because we can't stop the run, it seems right now. You'll get some passes to Hawkinson, but you're not going to get the big spectacular play to JJ. If anything, it'll go to Addison. Addison's the one who killed us, right? So
and there's 3 of them. See, so you guys shut JJ the fuck down. What did they do? Addison had 160 multiple touchdowns. Hawkinson 107 or 110, 117.
Yeah, I mean,
Jones
JJ,
had over 100.
That's the problem right there. Now look, we didn't have Brisker. I don't know if Brisker might play. I haven't seen the final on that, but we didn't have. I'm sorry. This is my Saturday sleep in, Rob. That's why I don't plan it. I just have to be on X and saw you. But no, we got a little healthier in the secondary since last time. So I mean, really, it's going to be the question. One of the 3 will probably burn us. It probably won't be JJ. I'll just put it that way. And so, can they take Addison away this time, or they can take Hawk away? Because we do have some people back, but your run game is what you're going to have to work as you have to hit us with. Aaron Jones is a bear killer. I mean, look at week 1 of last year. He took that game over and gave Jordan Love a win that should have been a loss. So, yeah, Packer fans, I said it. Aaron Jones is a game wrecker. He can control that whole game. And having, and Cam isn't he's not maybe his former self, but he's still good. So if you're running the ball well, that's all you're going to have to do. And you'll get the dink and dunk stuff on us, too, because we're not getting pressure. Montez Sweat's played the whole season injured, and it shows in his numbers. we still don't have the other edge rusher, which we need to address at some point. We got a young rookie who's showing promise, but I knew he wasn't going to be the guy to start the season. He's getting there. We're kind of like where we were last year before we got Sweat. We get close, but we don't get home, right? Like the quarterback feels the breath, but just doesn't get the touch. You know what I mean? Does that happen with Sam Darnold this week? Do we get to Darnold some? I think he's a quarterback we could probably get to more. And we
He's
can maybe
pretty
force him
elusive.
to
Did you
mistakes
did you
more.
watch? Did you watch against because the Falcons were beating the shit out of our offensive line, unbelievably so. And Darnold, I mean, he was escaping and making shit happen. Yeah, they got him a couple times, way more than they should have.
I think we
But-
can get him more up here in the game where he's going to make a mistake or two. I mean, that's what you have to do with Darnold, and Goff for that matter. You have to shake their confidence enough where you get a little bit in their head. The Bears did it last year to Goff, right? That's what you got to do with Darnold. And Darnold's having, I mean, like we all thought, I still thought you guys were a 10-1 win team even with Darnold, but
Yeah.
no one saw this. But he can be got, and he's going to have a game still this year. You rather him have that game against Chicago this week than in round one of the playoffs. You know what I mean? So
I'll take it versus Seattle.
Yeah,
I don't want to breathe through.
if we can get a win out of it, but if it's going to be one of those things where we probably do have another not. Darcy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, but we do probably have another loss. We probably do have another loss in there. It's just going to be the one that you don't really see coming.
Well, this would be that game because who sees the Bears as being? I mean, look, outside of us Bears fans, really, in the national media and everywhere else, who sees this Bears team being competitive on Monday Night Football with what just happened last week and all the turmoil?
And the line is, the Vikings are.
Go ahead.
I said the Vikings are -7, which to me is disrespectful to Chicago because, like we just talked about, the 3 division games Chicago's had, they've lost by a combined 7 points. Caleb Williams, he's just lighting it up in the second half of games. He's not going down without a fight. The fact that we're favored by that much is honestly kind of crazy. This game makes me nervous personally. I mean, yeah, the Bears are on a second game head coach, but then we don't know what he's going to do. So, I mean, Eberflus, it's like, okay, well, we at least know he's going to make dumbass decisions, but I'm legitimately nervous for this game. I don't think it's going to be easy at all.
Williams has been controlling the ball well. He hasn't gave up an interception in 7 games, 255 passes, which is a rookie record and a Bears record, not to mention. But back to the Brisker thing, Ken, we do miss Brisker. I know I do. He's still on injured reserve. He's not off yet, but I believe he'll be back before the end of the season's over.
We do have Kyler Gordon back, though. We didn't have Kyler Gordon, I don't think, in the first game. I think his first game. Did we have Kyler Gordon back in that first game? I can't remember if we did or didn't. But for us, it's good. Look, for you guys, it's going to be run the ball. The pass rush isn't there right now, especially if Dexter Jr.'s out. If Dexter's out. You guys got to run the ball. Offensively, really the offense, the run game might be Travis Homer at this point. Travis is showing, look at fans in Chicago love Travis Homer because he's shown passion, right? He can be a pretty decent runner, but so you don't know what to expect out of Travis Homer, but the pass game is going to be alive. And Rome has been playing a lot better. He's getting better separation the last couple of weeks as he's finally figuring things out in the NFL. They found this thing with Keenan Allen and Caleb, and that doesn't take more than a second and a half for that to happen, right? It's pretty quick with those two. So the short pass game, like you said, Rob, that's how we could get you on these dink and dunks with those guys. And like DJ Moore, you dealt with him, and all of a sudden he adds 50 yards after the catch because he can uniquely do that almost better than most people in the NFL. So the pass game is for us is what you got to try to shut down. The run game is not going to be there. And I think they have to go to Cole Kmet more. They have to go to the tight end position more in the passing game.
I agree on the Cole Kmet thing, and I'm surprised that that wasn't one of the primary people that Caleb Williams tried to start building a rapport and a connection with all year. Because if not DeAndre Swift as a pass catcher coming out of the backfield, that's your safety valve right there, and that's one reason. But here's the overarching thing. Despite every morning on your morning show, Ken, the fact that I do like to troll you in the comments because it's funny and you play along with it, and it makes for good viewership on a podcast. But I would say, if we're being completely honest and not talking shit, not trolling, two of the biggest reasons why that separates you from a 4-win team from a 10-win team right now is some nagging injuries and then just blind dumb luck.
Yeah,
you
pretty
know.
much.
You take this same group back here next year, add a couple pieces in the draft. Maybe you work some feng shui and do swapping of a very few pieces here. As long as you get a decent coach in place and everything, this team plays a hell of a lot harder than what your record indicates, which you guys have already said, but it's true.
That's the thing, Rob. Like with this head coach hiring thing, which is a whole nother thing. Whoever they bring in, it's like you understand if you don't make the playoffs in year one, it's going to be looked at as you did a bad job because the personnel group that's here, the holes are on the offensive line and the trenches. They're probably spending their first 3 picks in the trenches between the O line and the D line. Period. There are some intriguing free agents out there in that under 30 group that maybe we spend some money on. But you're right, it's 2 or 3 piece players away, mostly in the trenches, and then this team could be off and running with the right coach. I mean, even with Loose this year, they put up some really good games, and there are some games that they should have won. So, like, if we're going to predict this game this week, I guess I'll start off and predict it, and
Yep.
This
It's time.
A quandary game. So here's what I'm going to do. Because I'm a Bears fan, I'm on a Vikings show, I'm going to obviously take the Bears. I'm going to homer out. You guys should win this game, but because of all the weirdness that goes on in the NFL, I'm going to give it to the Bears on a Cairo Santos field goal from within 40 yards, okay? And that's how the game is going to end.
All right, Darren, what do you think?
35-20 Vikings.
All right. There we go. Mike.
He said that real quick, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, the comment section already. He typed it in.
True.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's going to be a one score. I think it's going to be a close scoring game. I think it's going to be a 1-score game. Bears are due for a win. Going to get our first victory on the road. I think it's 23-21 Bears.
All right, Matthew.
I'm going to say 28-24 Vikings.
Still cover the spread.
Yep. 30-27 Vikings.
I love the Bears.
My heart.
I think
my heart can't take a 3-pointer.
I didn't get a score yet. I'm gonna give my score. It's gonna be 22-21 Bears by 1 point on that Cairo Santos. I don't think.
Oh my fucking god, dude! I swear to God, if that fucking happens, hey, I don't think your kicker's that accurate. To be honest, though.
I mean, within 40, he's good.
It's really accurate. Just these don't have the big legs.
He ain't no Will.
Wait, Rob. This is where you got Darren, who needs to learn things, right? Because under 40 yards,
listen.
Under 40 yards, under 47, under 47. Darren, you're going to learn something here. Under 47 yards, he's perfect minus 2 block kick. After he gets 48 and above, that's where he gets into that 80% range. But 47 below minus a block.
So with those two block kicks, was that a woulda, shoulda, coulda game for you then?
Did you hear what I just said, Darren?
I can't tell.
Well, thanks, Rob. You guys are more than welcome to come on the show tomorrow. And tomorrow, Darren, I'll have the stats for you. I don't have enough.
I am surprised, though, just for a range, that when we got Will Reichard back and had to release Parker Romo, that I thought for sure you guys were going to try and snag him up.
I think the Bears next year, because look at Santos has been worth the money, but you're right. The range thing for me is an issue. If you look at the Texans game in week 2, the only reason they won is they had a field goal kicker who can kick it from 55 yards plus instead of punting the ball. That was legit the difference in that whole game in week 2 against the Texans. So having a kicker that
can Santos kick a long range like Reichard, or is that a yeah or no?
No, he's not a fit. Darren, do you listen? That's
so how is he better than my kicker?
He didn't say he was better.
Darren.
Look at Darren wants a debate.
Darren's
All right.
been
Well,
hitting
I
hard,
want to
man.
thank everybody for watching. We are out of time and everything. We will be back here same time next month. Don't forget to check out Skull Gang 365 at 8 o'clock tonight with Darren. And then Ken is on every morning with Ken and Ken in the morning at 10. And Mike, when are you running the Hallis Hall report?
Tomorrow, 11 a.m.
Wednesdays and
Central.
Sundays.
Already, tomorrow's going to be a test run on using the new studio and X as well. So,
awesome. All right.
Well, Skull.
Good luck, Skull. We will see you guys next time.
Go Bears.
Bear down. See you tomorrow, Darren.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.